He's complaining of hard to control steering wise going down the road. So we're going to get in here and, you know, check kingpins, tire run-ins, that kind of stuff, see what's going on, alignment a little bit, just to see why he's having trouble keeping it on the road. He said it doesn't feel like it's too much play on the wheel, but he's constantly giving corrections in the steering. So let's take a look at it and see what we got. No. A little clunky going on there. We have this jacked up right now, and those are only about 4 inches off the ground. That whole bundle there. That's all the coolant lines and lines that come off of the generator, but they should not be hanging that low to the ground because the airbags, if the airbags came down, those would be touching the ground. So there's not a whole lot of road clearance on that. So there's definitely an issue there.
See it? I barely feel it, so I don't know if you're gonna be able to.
Yeah, I can't really see it. I can feel it in the bus. I feel the clunk, 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 clunk.
Yeah, it's not a lot because I'm not seeing much. But...
Okay. Yeah, you can stop. Okay. Allegedly, this had a lube about 6 months ago. And by the dirt and absence of any recent grease, I have a hard time believing that any of this was done. I mean, it's only been driven a few miles, and the amount of dirt on the grease zerks and stuff, I don't think that's possible. They definitely did not do a lube. I'm gonna replace these shocks. We're gonna soak them down with some Croil before we start here. The nuts are pretty rusty. So Tyler turned the wheel all the way there, and when he lets go of the wheel up there, it spins on its own and it comes back to straight.
Perfectly straight too.
Yeah, right to the middle. That's because it has that safety plus safety steer. We're actually going to replace it with a new one he's got here, but yeah, so when you blow out a tire, you don't go off the road. They're pretty neat.
Did you take that right under that?
Yep. And your bolts right there too. Only got one washer.
Yeah, washer went on the bottom side with the bolt.
Is this twist? Okay.
Here, get yours started. Is there 2 sets of holes?
Yeah.
Towards me then.
Okay. Okay, so this Wanderlodge here, the oil pressure gauge, we're having some weird we're getting a low oil pressure reading off of this gauge, but the gauge, like, it's not resting at 0. It seems to be, you know, 10 to 15 psi lower than what it really should be when it's running. So we're just gonna investigate before we start actually looking for a problem of low oil pressure. We're going to, there's multiple gauges on here. The DDEC gets a separate sending unit for that its reading. So we're gonna read on the computer and see what kind of oil pressure reading we get from that. This should be up closer, you know, to a little over 60. So we're gonna, and he put marks on his gauges there for kind of minimum, but that should be higher than that. So before we look for low oil pressure problems, we're just gonna make sure, is this gauge right? Because I don't think that this gauge is gonna be correct, because again, it's not resting at 0. It just seems it's 10 to 15 psi lower than what it should be reading. We're just gonna check it with the DDEC one.
The loose counter?
It doesn't want to stay on this plug. I'm gonna hold it.
There is historic codes in there. Level, voltage high. Is that it?
Yeah.
Give me the engine diagnostics on what the oil pressure is reading.
I think peak torque is wrong. $6,300. Yeah. But you're at 500 horse. They're normally 475. Sorry, 6,500 foot-pounds. No. No pressure. £28.
And that's on 40 up there?
Showing about 20. White needle.
Oh, red's the mark. Got it.
I just put the red line up
Okay.
there.
Yeah, no, it's from here. The red looks like a needle. So go ahead and bring it up. Bring the RPM up. See what it goes up to. There. It's about 50 on there.
63 is what this is reading.
About 50. Is that right?
Yeah.
Wait a minute. What is it? The next 40 and then 80? Is that what it is?
40, 60, 80. 80 is the end mark. 60 is the next line. Comes up immediately though.
Yeah. Well, so does that gauge. But so
Yeah.
bring it up. Bring the RPM up to like 1500 or so. Yeah, that's pretty close to 60 on that gauge. And you said you're 68 over here.
63.
Well, that's not even 260, so that's less than that. So yeah, there's about 10. Probably about 10 psi. This is really pretty inside. It's got carpet runners down, but the flooring is very nice. So very stock, typical Wanderlodge space shuttle feeling dashboard and everything. But it's nice. It's clean with the all the white and everything. It's got window shades in here, but we'll do a full tour of it later. This will be a cold start. It's not very cold though. We're going after the air compressor hoses that are notorious for getting cooked on here. The one of them comes out just between the starter and the exhaust manifold there. I don't know if I can get a video of it or not. And it turns into a crispy little sucker. And when they break, you lose all your coolant, and it's very bad. So it's a very common Wanderlodge problem. So Tyler's on the inside removing the engine access panel in there. These are the air compressor coolant hoses that we replaced. They've turned to pipes. They're supposed to be flexible. They're not. Ugh. Oh, they're cracking, and they were ready to come apart. So good thing we got those off there.
Sorry.
So he got it with the pickle fork. This is pitiful, like pull. Step on that. Put some pressure on it so I can pull on this. Up and down, and then obviously up and down. That's crazy though. Alright, so we got the new ones put on here. And we're getting ready to bolt it back on. It's pretty well adjusted to the same length that it was before, but we'll get in there with the tape measure and the tires and set it as close as possible, and then he's going to take it to a shop for a laser alignment on it. He found a shop just outside of Nashville that'll do it for him. And it's so much more accurate with when you have the right tools instead of a tape measure on the wheels. Okay, so we're taking the drive brake off here, and we see we got a leaky wheel seal. We got some oil down in there. A little bit of heat checking, but that's all pretty minor. There's no big major cracks in it. Nothing really, no gaping voids there. You can see though that the linings have oil on them. These have the slack adjusters. In order to go backwards, they're auto adjusting, self-adjusting slack adjuster, but to back them off, you can't use the traditional little tool. These are the old school ones where there's a bolt, a 3/4 inch bolt on the backside with a little spring, little tab on it, and you have to take that bolt out in order to turn it backwards. So that bolt is out down on the side down there. There you go, see it hanging out. Okay, so we're gonna pull this off and get the seal ordered. We're gonna replace this shock. You can see that one's had the fluid leak out of it. And we're gonna check the rear engine or rear end fluid here, and I think, are we gonna change it to or just check it?
Just check it.
Okay. Skies are getting kind of dark and gloomy. We got thunderstorms coming. Been hearing thunder in the background here. So we're getting quite a bit done on the Wanderlodge here. We got the new coolant getting ready to go in. We've done a flush on it already. We got a leaky wheel seal that we were fixing, and we're getting ready to pull the other one off. We went ahead and ordered both of them. We're just replacing them both. Get in there and adjust the brakes. His brakes will be a lot better once we get it all the oil off of them. But, ooh, the wind's picking up. Some thunder. I just felt a raindrop. We'll see once we can get done here before it really starts raining. I don't want to get too many tools out and have to get soaking wet putting everything back up. So maybe we can get the new coolant in, and oh, the temperature change is incredible. It's been really warm out here. It's a beautiful bus. It was repainted and sent back to the factory, and they redid the interior. I think he said like 15 years ago or something like that. How long he said? But it's a beautiful bus. These threads are so stretched out. My impact gun's not even getting them off once I started spinning them. They're just wedging in there now. They're coming off, turning in the right direction. They're left-hand thread. There's an L on the end. Plus it actually says left on the lug nut. And doing it the right way, the correct way. And yeah, the gun is just struggling, and I'm probably gonna have to use the impact or the torque multiplier to actually remove them. They're junk. The inside of the lug nut is ruined, and it's just stretched the threads from being so over tightened. Gonna break?
I don't know. This handle keeps trying to fall off. Easier.
That's 3.
You ain't getting 8 more turns out of me at this moment.
You break?
No.
Your handle slipped off? That's the last lug nut holding it on.
It doesn't know that.
That's gonna break. That's a break. Did it slip out or did it break?
Broke it.
The wheel off.
Mostly.
Pull. Oh yeah, the hubcap's got a small. Let me go get the wheel dolly. So now that we got the outer off, after we had to break all of those, that one, like, look what it did. These started the turn with the impacts. Got maybe 1.5 revolutions on them, and they just stop. That's how stretched the threads are on the inside. So they're not tied up against the face of the wheel. It's just completely screwed. I'm probably gonna have to try to get those to break off as well. It's bending. I'm gonna put my glasses on.
I don't know that those glasses are going to help you much, but
I need a ball protector.
if that lets go, it's just going to shove the bottle into you. It's not going to help.
Oh, that's tight.
No, I don't feel safe. Let me get behind you and shoot over your
Yeah,
shoulder.
It's bending.
I know, it's the advantage of standing back here. At what point do we get really sketched out and give up on that?
It is. Is it actually turning, or is it only bending now?
I don't know.
I think it's just. Just get easier. It's gonna snap. That is not pretty sight. Got some glitter coming out of this one. You can see this crazy wear on the race. Very burnt. Change all that fluid in there. So we're going to replace the races and bearings on both sides on the drive axle.
Up his tools, check the air and all those duels. It's that bus grease monkey, don't you know? Well, he's got a long hard ride in old Lenny the Silver Sides. Get that bus grease monkey on the road. Well, he's got that hammer down and that 47 Hound. It's that bus grease monkey on the road. He travels all around and he's coming to your town. Get that bus grease monkey down the road. See that 4104 with the propped up engine door. Watch that bus grease monkey do his thing. 30 years behind that barn, 'cause it don't run worth a darn. Watch that bus grease monkey make it sing. He knows in Detroit there's no doubt, upside down and inside out. It's that bus grease monkey, don't you know? Saving buses far and wide in that old blue Silver Sides. It's that bus grease monkey, don't you know? Now he's moved his family to the hills of Tennessee. Watch that bus grease monkey make his home, bringing buses back to life with the help of his dear wife. Watch that bus grease monkey get it done. Well, he travels town to town looking on them old greyhounds. It's that bus grease monkey, don't you know? Saving buses far and wide in old Lenny the Silver Sides. It's that bus grease monkey, don't you know? It's that bus grease monkey, don't you know? It's that bus grease monkey, don't you know?